Have you ever pulled back, even just a little, and felt the tension in her eyes, the hesitation in her voice, that slight distance you created? It's like flipping a switch she didn't even know existed. Most men think when they step back, women lose interest. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The moment you create space, her mind goes into overdrive. She starts noticing the little things she's been taking for granted. The way you used to text her first thing in the morning, the way your presence filled her world without her even realizing it. It's in that absence that she begins to feel something she might never admit, even to herself. She starts replaying moments, wondering why the energy has changed. Her brain doesn't just process distance logically, it responds emotionally, instinctively. There's a chemical reaction happening inside her, a mix of dopamine, anxiety, and desire. You see, when you pull back, you're no longer a given, you're now a variable, and humans crave what feels uncertain. Uncertainty is magnetic, and this is where most men fail. They either panic and rush back, or they overcompensate, smothering the very intrigue they just sparked. But the right kind of pullback, that's where the power lies. Pay attention to the subtle signs. She might become quieter at first, more reserved in her messages. Or suddenly, she overcompensates, flooding you with attention, questions, even teasing you in ways that test boundaries. These aren't signs of disinterest. They are signs of internal conflict. She's weighing what she feels against what she fears. She's questioning herself. Why does he feel different? Why do I care more than I thought I would? And this is the secret. When you pull back, she's forced to confront her feelings in a raw, unfiltered way. Here's what most men miss. She doesn't always feel what she shows. On the surface, she may act indifferent, aloof, even irritated. But underneath, there's a storm of emotion. In that quiet space you've created, she begins to mentally trace every conversation, every laugh, every touch. Her subconscious starts filling in the gaps. And if she's genuinely connected to you, she'll feel a mix of longing and confusion, a cocktail that triggers her to question not just her feelings, but her attachment to you. This isn't manipulation, it's biology. Her mind is wired to notice patterns, to crave stability, and to respond when that stability seems threatened. And when you step back without losing your own composure, without chasing her, you ignite a subtle psychological pull. She notices your calm, your confidence, your independence. She notices that you're not reacting to her moods, not pleading for validation. That detachment isn't rejection, it's magnetic. It's a signal that you're secure, that your life isn't revolving around her validation, and paradoxically, this makes her want you even more. And the fascinating part, she'll rarely tell you what she's feeling. Society has trained her to conceal desire, uncertainty, and emotional vulnerability. She might laugh it off, brush it aside, or even criticize you. But deep down, she's processing every micro-interaction, every absence, every subtle sign that you've changed your rhythm. Her mind starts writing a story, one where you're no longer a constant, and she has to fight internally to understand why that feels unsettling. So when you step back, watch her closely, but don't react to the noise. She might test you, challenge you, or even push you away with words. That's just the surface. Beneath, she's experiencing a seismic shift. And the more grounded you remain, the stronger the emotional gravity pulling her toward you becomes. This is not about games. It's about understanding the unspoken truth. When you create space, you don't lose her. You awaken a part of her she didn't know existed, a part that questions, desires, and finally, craves the man who isn't always there, but is always himself. And here's the question that will reveal everything. Look at her reactions carefully. Can you spot the moment when she stops caring about the surface and starts feeling the depth? That is the exact moment her heart begins recalibrating toward you. When you pull back, something almost imperceptible begins inside her. It's not immediate. It's slow, creeping like a shadow over her usual confidence. She starts to notice the little absences, the text that doesn't arrive at midnight, the call that doesn't come, the laughter she misses when you're not around. At first, she tries to rationalize it. Maybe he's busy, maybe it's nothing. But her heart doesn't follow logic, it follows feeling. And feeling, when stirred by absence, is far louder than words. Here's the truth most men never understand. She will start to obsess over what she can't touch. Her mind begins playing scenarios, constructing conversations that never happened, imagining outcomes that she fears and desires simultaneously. This is the paradox of her psychology. Women are wired to internalize emotional shifts more intensely than men. While you might see your pullback as a small adjustment, for her, it's seismic. Every pause in your attention becomes a question mark she can't ignore, and the more she wonders, the more she feels. You'll notice subtle behavioral changes. She may begin testing boundaries, sending messages designed to elicit a reaction. She might mirror your energy, withdrawing slightly herself, not because she's losing interest, but because she's trying to gauge your consistency, your stability, your level of self-assurance. She's asking herself silently, is he still the same man? Does he still see me the same way? And here's where most men falter. They either over-explain, over-apologize, or chase, which kills the tension entirely. But if you remain calm, silent, composed, you force her to confront something far more powerful than any words, her own feelings. Her emotions will oscillate. One moment she may feel a strange panic, a gnawing unease that she can't identify. The next she may feel a rush of longing, a magnetic pull toward you that surprises even her. That's because desire is not just about proximity, it's about presence and absence working in tandem. You become both familiar and mysterious. She begins to feel the weight of what she had taken for granted, your attention, your energy, the ease with which you fit into her life. And this realization is uncomfortable for her because it awakens vulnerability she doesn't like to show. Here's the key. She's not thinking about losing you. She's thinking about losing control. She's grappling with a feeling she cannot name, and that's where the intensity grows. The pullback creates a space where she must face the truth. She wants what she can't dictate. She desires what she can't control. And in that space, every interaction becomes charged with meaning. A simple text, a laugh, even a glance becomes magnified. Her mind overanalyzes because her heart is already invested, whether she admits it or not. Watch her eyes in these moments. Watch how she hesitates, how she tests, how she teases. This is the silent language of longing, the language most men ignore because they only look for words. But desire is rarely verbal. It's emotional, physical, and subconscious. When you pull back and resist the urge to fill the void, she is forced to confront her own emotions with clarity she didn't have before. The realization often scares her. She's emotionally entangled in ways that cannot be undone by simple logic or distractions. And as the tension rises, her need for clarity intensifies. She wants to know if your distance is temporary or permanent, playful or final. Her mind races, her stomach tightens, and her emotions amplify. The key for you is to remain steady, to project calm, and let her navigate this storm. The more composed you are, the more she realizes that her feelings are entirely hers, intense, undeniable, and growing. This is where the unseen power of withdrawal lies, not in punishing her, but in revealing the depth of what she secretly feels when you are not constantly within reach. Finally, remember this. She may never articulate it, she may even resist acknowledging it, but every subtle shift she makes, the questions, the teasing, the fleeting touches, is her way of reconciling the emotional gravity you've created. And it's all happening because you pulled back. The silent truth she can't ignore is that she misses the man she thought she had, and now she's desperate to understand the man who isn't always there. By now, she's no longer just feeling your absence. She's living inside it. Her mind replays every interaction, every shared laugh, every touch that left a trace on her subconscious. What most men fail to see is that she isn't simply reacting to you stepping back. She's confronting her own inner contradictions. She wants closeness, but she's also terrified of losing herself in it. She craves your attention, yet she's painfully aware that it isn't guaranteed. And this tension, This beautiful, frustrating tension is what makes her secretly feel more for you than she's ever admitted. Her psychology is fascinating. She begins mentally checking in with herself constantly. Do I miss him more than I thought? Am I thinking about him too much? Why does this distance feel painful? These thoughts are not superficial. They cut deep, stirring emotions that she can't control. And here's the secret. When a woman starts overanalyzing like this, she's emotionally hooked. The pullback triggers not just desire, but reflection. She's forced to evaluate what you mean to her, beyond the words, beyond the convenience, beyond the surface of everyday interactions. She may try to mask it, of course. She may joke, tease, or even act indifferent. But beneath the surface, her body and mind are in sync, signaling attention, craving, and a subtle anxiety she cannot verbalize. She may find herself reaching for her phone, then putting it down. She may plan to text, then stop, realizing the emptiness of the gesture. Her subconscious knows that responding too eagerly would undo the emotional pull your absence has created. She feels caught between her impulses and her awareness, and that tension makes her emotions sharper, more focused, more potent. Watch for the subtle signs, small actions that hint at her inner conflict. She may comment on things you've said in passing, revisiting old memories, bringing them up in conversation. She may notice details she ignored before, the way you laugh, the way you carry yourself, the consistency of your calm. These observations are not casual, they're the mind's way of processing absence and attachment simultaneously. She's trying to reconcile her desire for you with the uncertainty you've created, and that struggle intensifies her secret feelings exponentially. And here's where it becomes powerful. She starts imagining scenarios in which she doesn't have you. Suddenly, your absence isn't just inconvenient, it's painful. She realizes how your presence made her feel seen, understood, safe, and yet challenged. When you pull back, she experiences a subtle but undeniable fear of loss. Not loss of interest, but loss of connection, of intimacy, of the rare combination of comfort and intrigue that you provide. This is the psychological hook men rarely recognize. Absence sharpens her emotional awareness. It forces her to confront what she truly values, even if she pretends she doesn't care. The fascinating paradox is that she may resist admitting these feelings even to herself. Her mind will rationalize your pullback as something trivial, a temporary shift, a game, but her heart knows the truth. And that tension between mind and heart is where desire deepens. Her emotions are no longer casual, they are urgent, compelling, and internally disruptive. Every glance, every fleeting smile, every hesitation in her communication becomes layered with meaning you will likely never hear in words. When she's navigating this invisible storm, every small detail matters. The way you carry yourself, the consistency of your independence, the subtle confidence you project, it all registers. She may not say it, she may not even consciously acknowledge it, but inside, she's mapping the emotional terrain between you. She's evaluating, longing, and secretly wishing she could bridge the space you've created without losing the very tension that makes your presence irresistible. And here's the hidden truth. This is not manipulation. It's the natural chemistry of attraction and emotional psychology. By stepping back, you don't push her away. You awaken a part of her she didn't know existed. You trigger a self-reflection and emotional awakening that few men ever witness. The pull of absence creates a silent intensity that words cannot replicate. And that intensity, that's where she begins to feel, deeply, unconsciously, and irrevocably. Now, the pullback has fully activated her internal radar. She's no longer casually curious, she's intensely aware of your absence, and it stirs something primal inside her. This is where most men misunderstand women completely. She isn't just noticing the gap you left, she's analyzing it, feeling it, and even craving it without knowing why. That tension, that subtle unease, is the engine of desire. It's what makes her think about you when she should be focusing on anything else, what makes her heart tighten at the memory of your laughter, the way your presence once effortlessly filled her world. Her mind begins running scenarios in fast forward, imagining what it would feel like if you were gone entirely. That fear, the fear of loss, combines with longing to create something far more potent than mere attraction. She starts replaying moments she overlooked before, noticing your attentiveness, the way you made her feel safe yet excited, the way your confidence contrasted with her own vulnerability. This contrast, amplified by your distance, becomes a magnetic force she can't resist. It's subtle, almost invisible, but it is real, and it is deep. She may try to rationalize her feelings, telling herself she's overthinking, or that your pullback doesn't mean anything. But her body and mind are speaking a language she cannot ignore. The signs are there. She mirrors your energy, tests boundaries, and in quiet, seemingly inconsequential moments, she seeks reassurance without asking for it. She may send messages that are carefully measured, teasing, or reflective, but every word carries emotional weight she cannot suppress. The smallest interaction becomes a test, a measurement of your stability and her own emotional stakes. And here's the crucial part. She can feel your calmness, your independence, your refusal to chase. That restraint isn't punishment, it's power. She senses that your life continues, that your value is undiminished by her attention or absence. And paradoxically, this makes her want you even more. Her mind struggles to reconcile two conflicting truths. She desires your presence, yet she knows she cannot dictate it. She craves your attention, but the very fact that it isn't guaranteed makes it intoxicating. Every pause, every absence intensifies the emotional gravity she feels toward you. You'll notice subtle shifts in her behavior. She might become more playful, more provocative, or even slightly unpredictable. These are not signs of uncertainty, they are signs of deepening attachment. She's trying to gauge your emotional stability, testing the boundaries of what is possible without risking the connection she secretly fears losing. Her actions are no longer casual, they are charged with intent she cannot fully articulate. Every laugh, every glance, every carefully worded message is an unconscious negotiation of desire and attachment. And the tension builds because she can't verbalize it. Society has trained women to mask longing, to conceal desire, to appear composed even when their inner world is storming. But you see it if you know what to look for. The hesitation in her words, the subtle seeking of reassurance, the intensity behind fleeting touches or digital interactions. These are the silent signals of a woman whose emotional gravity is being pulled toward you, even if she pretends otherwise. By pulling back, you've shifted the dynamic. You've moved from being a constant, predictable presence to a variable, desirable force in her emotional landscape. She feels challenged, intrigued, and internally compelled. The longer this tension persists, the more her feelings intensify, quietly, invisibly, but undeniably. This is the power of absence. It doesn't create disinterest. It reveals desire, magnifies attachment, and awakens emotions she may not have acknowledged before. And here's the silent truth she's grappling with. She's thinking about you constantly, feeling a pull she can't name, and longing for a connection she thought she had, now heightened by the space you've allowed. Every subtle sign she shows is a reflection of the emotional gravity you've created, and every moment of restraint on your part deepens that pull, making her secretly, intensely, and irrevocably feel more for you than she ever has before. By now, the emotional tension you've created is no longer subtle, it's undeniable. She's living in a heightened state of awareness, where every memory of you, every interaction, every absence carries weight. Her thoughts no longer wander casually. They orbit around you. She may deny it, she may act indifferent, she may even challenge you outright. But inside, she's experiencing a quiet, relentless gravity pulling her toward you, a force that cannot be reasoned away. This is where most men completely miss the point. They believe attraction is built on attention, on constant validation, on proving themselves. But in truth, the strongest attraction arises from the space you allow her to feel her own emotions, to confront her desire without interference. She is not attracted to what you give her. She is drawn to what you evoke within her. the moments of absence, the calm detachment, the confidence in your independence, all of these stir a longing she cannot articulate. And the longer you maintain this equilibrium, the more profound her feelings become. Watch her closely, because the signs are there if you know where to look. She might check your social media more often, or bring up inside jokes she once dismissed. She might subtly touch her own hair, or smile when she thinks of you, even in your absence. Her friends may notice a shift in her behavior, a quiet intensity she can't hide. These micro-signals are evidence of an internal recalibration. She is learning, consciously or unconsciously, that you are no longer a given, and that realization ignites a desire that is equal parts fascination and fear. Her emotional landscape is a battlefield. On one side is reason, the part of her telling herself to stay composed, to appear unaffected, to maintain control. On the other side is instinct, pulling her toward you with a force that surprises her. Every small interaction, every tease, every fleeting attention becomes amplified, resonating deep within her. She experiences a mix of longing, anxiety, and excitement that she can't fully articulate, but it drives her thoughts, her actions, and her feelings in ways that are impossible to ignore. This is the power of pullback, the revelation that your presence is magnetic, not because of what you give, but because of what you withhold strategically, calmly, without insecurity. She feels the contrast between your availability and your autonomy, and it creates an emotional tension that is irresistible. Her mind races, her body responds, her heart recognizes a force she can't control. And in this quiet storm, she begins to understand that her attraction is not casual, it is deep, visceral, and profoundly magnetic. And here's the secret most men never see. She doesn't need you to chase her. She doesn't need you to over-explain, to beg for attention, or to prove your worth. She simply needs the consistency of your presence when it matters, paired with the distance that allows her to confront her own feelings. That combination ignites desire, respect, and emotional dependence in a way that no words or gestures could replicate. You become both the calm and the storm, simultaneously secure and unavailable, predictable yet unpredictable. So here's the truth. When you pull back, she is not indifferent. She is not unaffected. She is feeling more than you know, thinking more than she admits, and longing more than she can express. And if you followed this dance with patience, confidence, and emotional clarity, she will find herself drawn to you in ways that defy logic but feel undeniably powerful. Now, here's a personal challenge for you. Look at her reactions, her subtle signs, and calculate this in your mind. If her longing grows by 3 units each day of your absence, and your calm detachment adds 2 units of emotional gravity daily, how long until her feelings reach a tipping point she cannot ignore? Comment your answer below, share your insights, and if this revelation hit home, like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs to understand what women really feel.